Hey, what's happening? It's your dude, the merciless Reese L. Black. Welcome back to the booth. Yo, I wanted to make a quick video, very quick video, because I was actually about to get dressed and go pick up my son from daycare. And I was just like, let me quick video. I literally was about to like get dressed and roll out. I was like, no, what? Let me see if I can make this video real quick before I go get him. So that's why your boy is like chilling in a tank top right now and not even dressed as normal, but because I kind of felt like I wanted to like go ahead and dish this out to the family, right? So I was pretty much in my feed on YouTube. I just wanted to see what was what was popping. Of course, I'm subscribed to some sports stuff here and there. So yeah, I know about one of my favorite sports shows, Undisputed, with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Shannon gave a heartfelt farewell to the show. It don't even look like they beefing. It looks like it's some man to man. We had a good run. Wish you the best type of moment. I know there's some stuff out there about Skip being an asshole and kicking him off the show and having egotistical moments, but I highly doubt it. I really do, So, and then I saw some other stuff in my feed as well. But I also came to a thought on my feed about all the stuff that keeps popping up in my feed. There's a whole bunch of stuff about, modern women did this, modern men are doing that, and passport bros this, and all of this other stuff. It's just steady in my feed, right? And every time I decide, like, let me go ahead and indulge for a second. Let me see what's going on. I run into a lot of these podcasts, right, where they always bring women on and they talk about dating, when mainly they're really just talking about why they will never get a high value man, why they are, why modern women are just, completely entitled. And if you disrespect me on my show, I'm kicking you off and everything. It's kind of like some nonsense, right? And you guys know, I've had women on my show, content creators on my show, and we just vibe out. We just talk about what's going on in dating. Like, there's no attitude or anything like that. It's just a respectful collab. But there's a lot of podcasts, a lot of YouTube channels where men are literally just getting these, I don't want to say airheaded women. So I'm just going to go ahead and say these uninformed women about what's going on and why they can't get a man. But to me, it comes off as weaponized. Is content being weaponized against women now? Let's go ahead and take a look into the manosphere space for a second, right? And I'm not talking about the red pill space. I'm talking about the manosphere space. Look what it once was in the beginning with your Rollo Tomasi's, and we can go ahead and throw Donovan Sharp up in there and, a few other people. And then you kind of have people over here in the game side where you had your Mr. Lucarios, your Ron Wills, Alpha Kingdom and everything, Alpha Villains, you know what I mean? And speaking of Alpha Villains, y'all make sure y'all go out and get my man's book right here, Masculine Compromise. Make sure you get it. It's a good read. You'll kill it in about, a good, 30 minutes, if you read fast like me. So go ahead and support the man, because we barely have a lot of authors in the space. So shout out to Alpha Villains. Make sure you go grab this, right? But it's almost as if we have like these content creators, creators that are male who bring women on just to shame them. They call them humble. They like to call it humbling, but it's really shaming. So like I said, going back into the game side, you have people like, Edward Overton, and, shout out to Coach EO. All these people who are in the space, who are kicking that game, and they're not really tossing shame at women, right? So now you got these other channels. I think one of them is called Welcome, or I can't remember. I just kind of glanced through it. Then you have Fashion Fit, and then you had another dude who was on Fashion Fit who ended up having his own show, right? Not too long ago. He got into it with a chick over some disrespectful shit, and ended up giving them the boot and everything. And I'm just like, are spaces, content creators, are they just now bringing on women to pretty much shame them for sure entertainment, because that's what we know what are going to end up generating the views, right? Me, I can't go that route because I don't like talking to anybody disrespectful, and so I'm not going to give anybody the boot. I like to have respectable conversations, and the thing is, things only get out of control when you have somebody pretty much trying to force a point down their throat, right? I mean, one of the clips that I actually saw was this chick who pretty much twisted the game. She was pretty much just like, yo, you're not even that attractive, so why should I even listen to you? And he kind of, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the clip. He kind of came back and was just like, yo, what's with the ad hominems? Like, why you got to come at me because you don't find me attractive? So you mean to tell me my word is not on point because you don't find me attractive and you're a sex worker? It's like they're inviting these people who who pretty much don't really care about relationships. They pretty much bring these girls who quote unquote have traditional values, right? But they want the man to be traditional, but she's not a traditional woman. And it's like, I don't know why we still have content creators, podcasters, or whatever they want to call themselves, who get these women to talk about committed relationships or marriage, and the content creators are not even married themselves. That part is what's killing me. So now when you put this content out there, the men out there who do have their so-called traditional values and want to be married because everybody want to get married all of a sudden, they watch this and they're like, rah, 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 yeah, get her, sick her. And it's like, why? What is that doing for you? As a man, how is that content helping you? How is it helping that a man is kicking an OnlyFans model or a prostitute, escort, sex worker, whatever you want to call it, off his show? Why was she even on there in the first place? So now we used to be in the space where we used to learn something. Like, for instance, yeah, I was hip to the Rational Male. I got all 4 volumes because Rollo Tomasi, I believe he's excellent. I was learning something. There was he had some gems that I never even heard of. Same thing with Afi Kingdom. I read his books. He has some gems I haven't even came across. Edward Overton, shout out to Coach EO. Mad gems. Mr. Lucario in his book, mad gems. Ron Wills, books, mad gems, right? But notice all the men that I've mentioned, never really once had a woman come on their show just so they could pop off at them. It's like, no, they're having healthy conversations. They're exchanging gems. It's mutual respect on the show, and that's it. So it's almost as if, like, these content creators are trying to bait these women into having I don't want to say stupid responses, but having them get triggered in a way. I remember, shout out and rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. He actually said that to a woman one time on his live. He said, I'm triggering you on purpose because I basically want to see how bad you're going to react, because the high value men is really not confrontational. But if you could get confrontational with me, because Kevin, he pretty much was a representative of high male value men. He basically like, I'm going to trigger you by giving you the honest to God truth. The only disagreement that I actually had with that is because, for one, these women are not married anymore. These women do want to be married, but these women really do not, I want to say, don't want to date a man that just gives them the harsh reality of dating right in their face on a date. Like, who really talks like Kevin Samuels over a cup of coffee on a date? Who does that? Who talks like all of these red pill men that are out having a little picnic date with a chick, getting to know her? No one does. Usually when you're on a date, it's pretty charming. And it's amazing because out of all these shows, I swear, you got all these baddies come on your show and nobody is really trying to get down and show them how to be charming, how to flirt. So everybody got a course on how to pull a chick, how to DM a chick, how to text a chick. Everybody got all these courses on how to grab. And not one of these dudes are showing you how to grab. We have all pretty much dated, smashed, we don't know, an escort, right? I'm not saying that we knew. It's like some of us have went out on a date with an escort and we didn't know they were escorts. We just thought that they were just a regular chick who worked in the mall or something like that. They just happened to be an escort, or they happened to be doing OnlyFans, right? But the thing is, you notice the attitude changes depending on the atmosphere of the freaking date. These podcast shows have kind of became a little bit of a hostile environment. Like, yeah, you know, they got like over 500,000, a million subs or whatever on the show, but you're going into the lion's den. They're going to go ahead and kick the same old stuff about you're going to want, you know, a man in the 1%, you're going to be sharing them and yada, 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 right? You know, if you want to have kids, you should have them now at 23, 24, 25, 26. You should have been banging out them babies. You should have been a housewife and yada, yada, yada. So we got all these unmarried dudes telling these unmarried single young chicks how it goes in society and what men want when every man is completely different. Hell, I even ran into a freaking clip of Andrew Tate being asking, does he want a woman to, like, you know, be able to cook? He's like, no, I'm not even home anyway. I usually go out to eat. Like, you're coming with me. Like, I'm never home anyway. You know, so everything is subjective of what a man wants and what a woman wants. But when we get to the point where everybody is trying to trigger a chick for views, it kind of takes away, like, the value of learning, right? The only thing you learn from these shows basically is who's an escort, who's a sex worker, who's a stripper, who is basically monetizing their beauty and their body. That's it. Because the thing is, for some of the stuff that I watched, I've never really had I don't have that moment like I've had, like if I've seen like Ron Will interact with a woman on his show, if I've seen Offie Kingdom interact with a woman on his show. I've never really gotten any of that because these dudes are literally profiling certain young girls to come on their show to go ahead and ask them to straight up sweep them. And I think it's silly because these are grown men and these are grown unmarried men. So it's like, and I'll go ahead and throw, you know, just pearly things, you know, in there as well. I don't feel like she's attacking the women on the show, but let's just admit it. When you have a woman on there who has a different opinion on dating that doesn't match theirs, it's going to be a train wreck. It's going to cause chaos, and that's what's getting views because we actually have more men out there that want to watch train wrecks more than anything now. Back in the day, you used to want to be able to like watch a chick that kind of like had it going on, had some gems here and there, you know? Now it's like, we have to talk about these chicks. We have to bring them on the show and we have to drill into them. And it's like, why? Because majority of the time, guys like myself and anybody else, we see chicks like that from afar. We don't even approach that. We don't even go there. Like a lot of these girls are at bars and clubs. And for some reason, some of you men out there still want the chick at the bar and the club, but when you get into a committed relationship, they're like, okay, you got to cut that out. No more male attention. You can't be going to spaces like that. That's like, well, shit, nigga, you met her there. Shit, she met you there. So what? You gonna stop going out with Joe partners to the club or whatever? And dudes will just be like, well, yeah, because I'm not looking for male attention. I'm actually going out with the partners to have a good time. So you see how it's kind of like silly. And the thing is this, you know, it's YouTube. YouTube is a space where it's not really supposed to be taken seriously anyway. It's not. You come on here for entertainment and you take as is, but it is kind of interesting that we probably do have men out there that will listen to this, see dudes like boot girls off their show and be like, hell yeah, you know, Jordan, game winner. So what? It's like, what does that do for you? You're still at home. You're still single. You still ain't got no girl by your side. You still ain't even approaching. Matter of fact, y'all the same dudes who have arguments with the dudes on the game side about cold approaching. But you love it when these YouTuber podcasters, whatever these dudes call themselves, you love it when these dating content creators love triggering these girls and giving them the boot off the show. These dudes are like 32, 33s kicking off 22-year-olds. Anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and throw that vid out there, and y'all know how I do. I'm out this piece. Good evening, Mr. Black.